Oh my god! Guys, Ocean is back. I can see his little tail poking out of the window. Hi Beats, it's EKG. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing well today. Today I am doing a 2K Q&A. My channel recently hit 2,000 subscribers, which is very, very exciting. I have a chance to do a 1K Q&A, so let's get into it. So the first question I got was, did you go to college? If so, what did you major in? I did go to college. I have a bachelor's degree and my major was in exercise science, applied kinesiology, which is just basically the study of exercise's effects on our physiology. And I did a minor in creative writing, which actually I switched my minor. I was initially doing a minor in English literature, but since I did at the time want to be a writer, the creative writing minor became available to me, so I decided to switch into that. I did already start taking classes towards an English literature minor, which actually counted for the creative writing minor as well, because we had to reach a certain amount of English literature credits. So it worked out. I guess that will lead into my next question, which is, do you write poems, and if so, do you want to publish them one day? I do write poetry. I also do like a lot of fiction writing too, but it kind of fluctuates based on the mood that I'm in and what I'm drawn to writing at the time. But yes, I primarily write poetry, and I have actually gotten a few of my poems published in 2020, which is very exciting. It was definitely a defining moment having a few of my poems published in literary magazines. And if you follow me on Instagram, I do have one of my poems that were published linked in my bio. Guys, Ocean is back. I can see his little tail poking out of the window. He hears me filming a video, so he wants to make an appearance, of course. If you don't know, I have a squirrel who lives in my windowsill for some reason, and every time I film a video, he decides to make an appearance, and he's back. And his name is Ocean. I asked you guys what I should name him. I'm going with Ocean, you know, in lieu of Ocean Vuong and Frank Ocean, my absolute fave. Becoming a published poet was definitely a highlight of my life. I'm so proud of that accomplishment, and it wasn't an easy thing for me to do, at least specifically being like a major in a science field. It's not really regarded, like more creative fields aren't really regarded and supported. So it was definitely like, I felt like I had a double identity going on for a little bit, but now I'm fully embracing it and I'm so happy. Okay, going on to the theme of poetry, another question I was asked is there a poem or a line from a poem that has stuck with you? Yes, Mary Oliver's Oxygen Lives Rent-Free in my brain, specifically the line, "You're breathing patiently. It is a beautiful sound. It is your life, which is so close to my own that I would not know where to drop the knife of separation. And what does this have to do with love, except everything?" I love that poem so much. It has lived in my mind since I read it 2 years ago, and this is the poem of my life. I don't know, I feel like. But basically any Mary Oliver poem lives rent-free in my head. Another one that I'm thinking is called Poem Itself, and also Wild Geese. An absolute banger from Mary Oliver. So those are poems that live rent-free in my brain. Oxygen is my favorite poem. Okay, sticking to the theme of poetry, I was asked recommendations on where to start reading poetry. I feel like I can do an entire video on this, but I will also suggest that you start with Mary Oliver. I find her work to be very accessible, especially for someone first getting into poetry. She doesn't use like overcomplicated language to portray her themes and messages throughout the poems. I feel like her metaphors are pretty easy to grasp. It's not like you have to do too much work to dissect the poetry. I also think another great place to start with poetry is Tracy K. Smith. Absolutely love her. Life on Mars is a great collection from her. So I definitely recommend starting in those places if you want to read more poetry. I also got a lot of questions about what my favorite movies are / what my favorite movie film adaptations are. My favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, I have a lot of favorite movies. One of my favorite movies is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet. This follows a non-linear narrative about two people who meet and fall in love. There is this technology that allows you to erase your memories. So it's very interesting to see why and how they each got to that point in their relationship. And I just thought that it is a very good movie. It definitely uses the manic pixie dream girl trope, but you know, I'm not against it. It could be a red flag on my part, but I mean, whatever. I rarely enjoy an unreliable narrator / unreliable storyline or plot line. I feel as though I like kind of working a little bit using my analytical big brain energy to figure out and decipher what's going on in the movie. Another one of my favorite like movies or things, I guess you could say, this might be a surprise, but I'm very much into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love the Avengers. I am a superhero movie girl. One of my favorite Marvel movies is Avengers Infinity War. My favorite book to film adaptations, I thoroughly enjoy the Twilight Saga. Yes, I said it. Since it became available on Netflix, I think I watched the entire thing like 5 times already. It is my comfort go-to series. I don't know, the chaos of it all, of the world of Twilight and everything that's completely wrong with it, but then also I get hit with a wave of nostalgia, so that's why I keep watching. Me and my friends will message each other critiques of the Twilight movie, like, why did this happen? This is horrible. Why? Like, this is completely funny. Like, why would the writers leave this in? But then we also enjoy it. So that's my favorite pastime, is to critique and analyze Twilight movies. I also really liked The Girl on the Train adaptation. I read the book before the movie came out. I'm very big on doing that. I hate watching the movie and then reading the book because it doesn't hit the same for me. And now leaking into TV shows, my favorite booked TV show adaptation is Normal People, which is surprising because I was not the biggest fan of the book. I loved Conversations with Friends, but I thought the show adaptation was beautifully done and I loved it so much. Another one of my favorite TV shows is High Fidelity, starring Zoe Kravitz, in which she plays a record store manager in Brooklyn named Rob, and she details her five heartbreaks, her 5 most recent heartbreaks, if you will, or heartbreaks that had the biggest impact on her as a person. And it's a show mixed with music, which you all know I'm very much into. Some of my non-book favorite TV shows include The Office. I'm a big The Office fan. I just love the comedy of The Office. And I also wish that I had cameras following me around so I can pan to the camera the way Jim does. And I also loved Charmed. OG Charmed from the 90s. It also hits me with nostalgia. I used to watch that all the time when I was younger, right after school while doing homework. I also love Breaking Bad. I'm a big Breaking Bad fan. It took me a while to get into Breaking Bad, but once I did, I was hooked. The best writing in TV, I'm sorry. Oh, I was also asked what albums have no skips for me. And the first album that absolutely has no skips in it, I would listen to this album from the top to the bottom on repeat, and that is Control by SZA. This is the quintessential coming of age in your 20s as a woman album I've ever heard. The way SZA just saw me in those songs. And another album that has absolutely 0 skips for me, I would play front and back, side to side, up and down, is Frank Ocean's Blonde. I love Blonde so much. I think Blonde would be the soundtrack to my life. If I had a movie and I needed cinematic B-roll vibes, it would definitely be any song from Blonde. Any song, I'm okay. But my favorites from Blonde are Self-Control, Nikes. I just love the whole album. No skips for me. Those are my 2 favorite albums of all time, and they actually just spoke to me because, like I was saying, I was in my early 20s when they came out, and I just felt so seen by both of those albums. It's ridiculous. Okay, so transitioning more into book questions, I got asked a ton about what my favorite books are. I am going to do an entire video dedicated to my favorite books, so be on the lookout for that. But I will answer one question that I received, which is what is my favorite underrated book at the moment, and I definitely think my favorite underrated book at the moment is Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. I talked about this in a recent video, this book, but I just thought it was phenomenal. Once again, it just speaks to me because it is centered on a relationship, a romance between a young black man who's a photographer and a black woman who is a dancer living in London, and you just really get into what it means to desire and be with someone, what intimacy is, both physically, mentally, spiritually, as well as incorporating expression of music and art. Like, that is my favorite thing, and that's why I love that book. I feel like it's starting to catch some traction recently. I've seen like a few other booktubers talking about it. Yeah, I highly suggest that you read it. Once again, like I'm saying, in Open Water too, I feel like there should be a playlist. There probably is one on Spotify. Hopefully there's one of all the music mentioned in there, but all of the music mentioned was by some of my favorite artists, so I love that as well. A very raw, real interpretation of love and how one's own personal traumas growing up impact relationships. I thought it was brilliantly done, and the writing is very poetic as well and very reminiscent to me of Citizen and American Lyric by Claudia Rankine. Okay, I was also asked to do like thematic books, like books about Halloween or Christmas, and I will say that I don't actively read books centered on specific holidays, but I do like reading books that capture certain themes or feelings surrounding a holiday. For instance, I read Writers and Lovers by Lily King around Valentine's Day, so I'll do books like that. Or I like reading thriller books around Halloween, but not necessarily books centering on holidays themselves. Okay, going off that question, I was asked what is my favorite holiday / tradition. I've been getting into Halloween. I love thinking of costume ideas that, you know, no one might be thinking of. I love coming up with costume ideas, and I'm a chicken, so I don't really like scary movies, but I do like the aspect of being scared, if that makes sense. But I just want to be a little scared. I don't want to fully commit to like the thriller lifestyle, you know? I really love Christmas. I think Christmas is just so warm and cozy, and I loved gift giving. It is one of my love languages. I just think that's beautiful to spend time and just be grateful and thankful for what you can do for other people and how you can show your appreciation for them. So those are my favorite holidays and traditions. Okay, so I was asked who my favorite author is, which is very hard for me to choose. But I think an author I have been excited. I'll just go with authors that I'm excited to read. When they drop something new, I'm like, yes, let me consume this. I'm very much into Sally Rooney at the moment. I know I said earlier that Normal People wasn't my favorite, but I love Conversations with Friends, and it's a book that I have literally not stopped thinking about, and I'm very excited for Beautiful World, Where Are You? I am also in love with Ocean Vuong. I feel as though I would read his to-do list. I would read Ocean Vuong's grocery list. I would read basically anything that he puts out into the world. So he's one of my favorite authors as well. And I actually really love a Taylor Jenkins Reid moment. I'm here for it. I just feel as though she has a way of capturing time periods that is, it makes me want to be there, if you know what I mean. I recently just read Daisy Jones and the Six. I've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I've read Malibu Rising, and I've also read another book that she wrote called After I Do, and I loved all of them. Malibu Rising was okay for me, not my fave, but absolutely adore the other ones. So I would also say Taylor Jenkins Reid. That's it. I tend to gravitate either towards very strong characters. I don't need much plot going on, but if the time period I vibe with, I'm good. And then also, if I really see myself in a character, I'm good as well. Like, I could just follow them along on the journey. Okay, so I'm gonna ask the most beautiful place you've ever been and one that you'd love to see. The most beautiful place I've ever been is definitely Hawaii. I visited Hawaii when I was 16 years old, so that was a while ago. And we went to Oahu. We were on Waikiki Beach, and I fell in love instantly with Hawaii. I recently went to Aruba and I thought it was beautiful there as well. A place that I would love to go to would 100% be, I would love to go to Greece. And I don't know, I'm very much an island girl. I actually love Toronto too. That's probably one of my favorite cities that I've ever been to outside of the US. Not saying I've been to a lot of places outside, but I love Toronto. I would definitely love to visit like London. Haven't been to London. Love to take a trip to Italy one day. I don't know, I just want to go on a European tour. Okay, let me recommend a book that I think everyone should read. I'll end on this question right here. A book that everyone should read should definitely be Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I just thought that that read was very enlightening and definitely educational, and definitely an accurate depiction on the Black experience in America. So I highly recommend that you read that if you're looking for more reads like that. And I also recommend that everyone read James Baldwin. Like, I don't need to say that, but you know, if you have been apprehensive thinking about it, this is your sign to do it. Like, read a James Baldwin. It could be The Fire Next Time, it could be Giovanni's Room, it could be Go Tell It on the Mountain. I have recently sparked my love for James Baldwin. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 of you. Me and Ocean, my pet squirrel, say thank you. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to answer your question. Like I said, I'm dedicating an entire video to doing my favorite books, so be on the lookout for that. Love you all very much, and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.
And I was like, yo.